All right, so when we are talking about the different shapes of distribution, we talked about we talked about them yesterday in the box and whisker plot video, but also you can look at them in a histogram. So when you see something like this, where it's kind of a drop off on one side, but the majority of the data is off to the right, we say that this is skewed left because that's the side where the tail is. So this one would be symmetrical. Oops. And this one would be skewed right because that is the side where the tail is. Okay. So if we're talking about measures of center, then we would want to use the median for anything that is skewed, and the mean for anything that is symmetrical. So if something is skewed, your median will probably be right where the majority is, okay? But the mean will be pulled down because of all of the things over here that are affecting it. Whereas your mean and your median are usually the same, if not slightly different for this one. So that's the measure of center. When we're talking about distribution, we want to use that 5-number summary for anything that is skewed. And then for something that is symmetrical, we're going to use that standard deviation. All right, so we want to make a histogram and then determine what type of distribution it is. So we're going to start by labeling the two axes. So we have frequency, and then we also have number of tickets. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So 1 through 8, 9 through 16, 17 through 24, 25 through 32, 33 to 40, 41 to 48, and then 49 to 56. Okay. Let's change that to graph paper. Actually, never mind. Okay. The frequency is, if we listed out all of our numbers, then there would be 5 numbers that are between, including 1 and 8. There are 9 numbers that are between the interval 9 to 16. So notice that our intervals are of equal length. If they're not, then we cannot compare them. And then our highest frequency is 25. So let's count by 5s. Okay. All right. So 1 to 8, there are 5 of them. So I'm going to put a line here and draw what looks like a bar graph. The only difference is instead of having space between them, the next one that goes up to 9 is going to be connecting. So it's just going to connect to that. So there's no space between these. 17 through 24, there are 16 of them. Connect and connect. 25 is the next one. So this one's 20 is the next one. 8 in this next one. And then 7 in that last one. Okay. So this, if we drew the line on top of it, oops. It doesn't really have a bigger tail on one side or the other, so this one's going to be symmetrical. So we're going to want to use the mean and the standard deviation. Okay. If we look at these two, then this one has a long tail on the left, so this is, long tail on the right, so it's skewed right, which means we want to use the median and the 5-number summary for the distribution or the dispersion. This one is relatively symmetrical, so we want to use the mean and the standard deviation. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions when you come into class.